Hi, boys and girls. Time for Sunday school. This is Miss Betsy. I have a story today about rules. You know what rules are. You have rules at home, and pretty soon you're going to have rules at school. Now, some of the rules at home are like cleaning your plate. I don't know if your parents do this, but if I didn't clean my plate, I either sat there for a long time or I didn't get dessert. But anyway, I knew the rule was I needed to clean my plate. Some of the other rules you have at home, you probably have to keep your room clean, and you have certain rules on the computer, only certain things you're allowed to do, and maybe certain times you're allowed to be on, like you can't get on there for hours and hours and hours. So there's probably a time limit. If you drive a car, you have to have one of these. Now that strange looking lady, that's me. You have to have a license before you can drive a car or a truck or a school bus or any of those things. That's one of the rules. Now there's rules with these blocks too. Let's see. I'm going to put this block, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way. What do you think is going to happen? Is it going to stay there? No, it doesn't, because you know what gravity is. I can do it that way. I can do it this way. Anyway, that's another rule. Now, I taped this story and I put it on YouTube. And before I can put it on YouTube, there's certain things I have to answer, like the title and what it is, that it's a Sunday school lesson, and I put the location. Putting the Sunday school lesson part, they won't let me put the video on there if I don't do that. So that's one of the rules you have to follow with YouTube. I don't know if you've ever put anything on YouTube. A lot of people do. This is the first I've ever done it, but that's one of the rules. And of course, you know the rules. Don't talk to strangers. Don't take candy from strangers. Don't go with strangers, especially. The rule about being polite. Please, thank you, may I, yes or no, sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. Do you ever do that? There's rules about being polite. Now there's rules if you have coffee. I got coffee on the way here today. And you can tell by the cup, it's hot coffee. So what's the rule about something that's in a cup that's hot? You gonna splash it around? Are you going to take a big drink? Are you going to wait till it cools down a little? Because when it's hot, you have to be careful. In fact, it even says on the cup, it says caution, hot. So that's one of the things you have to be careful about. That's one of the rules. A rule that is going on right now, and you'll be wearing one for school, and you have to wear one when you go to a store, or out anywhere, I guess, you have to wear one of these. Now, I wrote, I am smiling on my mask because one of the things that really bothers me about this is when you're talking to people and you smile, they can't tell. So I wrote it on there so they know that I'm smiling behind it. But that's one of the rules that we have right now, and it's probably going to be for quite a while. So we get used to it. So I actually have a mask that says Dog Mom. I have a mask that says Purr. I have a mask that says, if you can be anything, be kind. So I figured if I have masks that say different things, I can rotate them. I can wear them at different times. So anyway, now we're coming to God's rules. And we got God's rules when Moses went up on the mountain and came down with stone tablets. You remember our stones, right? Heavy stone. And the rules were written on there. So who can tell me how many rules there are from God's rules? Are there 4? 9, get my numbers here. 3, 1. Anybody say 10? There were 10 rules on the tablets that Moses came down from the mountain with. So we'll go to our story and then we're going to read over the 10 commandments. Moses and the people continued to move around in the wilderness. One day they came to a tall mountain. They set up their tents at the bottom of the mountain. I want the people to know that I am their God, God said to Moses. Come to the top of the mountain and I will give you special rules to help the people live together the way I want them to live. So Moses went up on the mountain and all the people waited below. The people saw the top of the mountain become covered with smoke, and they saw lightning and they heard thunder, and they were afraid. Now this is the list of the words. Now, some stories say that Moses actually went up on the mountain twice. The first time he came back, he saw that the people they were tired of waiting, and they had taken some of their gold jewelry and things, and they made a golden calf. And they were praising the golden calf. Now you know that's not what you do. You never praise an idol like that. And Moses was so angry when he came down with those big stone tablets ready to tell the people what they said, he threw them on the ground and he broke them. So that meant first then he told the people what they were doing wrong, and they were sorry, and they destroyed the idol, and so they knew they should never do that again. So Moses went back up to the mountain and he got another set of rules from God. So we're going to read over them. Now, sometimes in my Sunday school class, Mrs. Thorwart, Miss Casey, she comes up, she has a really neat not a poem, but she does motions that go with the different commandments. So if we happen to have that when we start back to Sunday school, we're definitely going to ask her to come up and do that for us. Okay, so here's the first one. God said, there is only one God. And we know that. And we remember that all the time. God said, worship only God. That's what the people were doing wrong when Moses came back down from the mountain. They were worshiping a calf, a golden statue. We don't do that. We worship only God. Always say God's name with love. Sometimes people use God's name when they're really angry and they say it in a way they shouldn't. We need to remember God's name is special, and we only say it with love. Remember to rest one day a week. We'll have the story of creation one of these weeks, but we know when we read that story that God created things on 6 days, and on the 7th day, he rested. Love your parents. Always love your parents. They love you. Do not kill. That's a pretty easy one to remember to not do, but, you know what? Is that number 6? Yeah, number 6. I'm sorry, I thought I had it upside down. The 6th commandment is do not kill. 7. Always love the person you marry. So your mom loves your dad and your dad loves your mom. And they both love you, of course. God said, do not take what belongs to someone else. You might like somebody else's shoes or backpack or their watch or a shirt, something that is theirs, and you might really like it, but that doesn't mean you can take it. It doesn't belong to you, so you don't take it. 9. Do not tell lies. God said, do not tell lies about other people. Like sometimes, some people like to do something called gossip. They find out a story about somebody they don't like, and it's not even true, but they like to tell it anyway. But that's not right. You don't tell lies about people. And number 10, we're kind of back to this. Do not want something that someone else has. Sometimes people are envious of, somebody's big house or somebody's fancy car, but you don't need to want what someone else has. You're to be satisfied with what you have because God cares for you and makes sure that you have everything you need. So that's the 10 of the commandments. I don't know if you can see all this. I have this in my Sunday school room, and it has the 10 commandments. Put God first, praise and worship Him only, keep God's name holy. That means we say it with love. Keep the Lord's Day special. Obey your parents. Do not harm anyone. Love the one you marry. Don't take anything that is not yours. Tell the truth, and don't be jealous of what others have. You can see all kinds of posters and all kinds of ways of saying those. But what's important is that the rules came from God. And the people listened to Moses when he came down to tell them God's rules. He told them, don't be afraid of the smoke and the thunder. It helps us remember how powerful God is. Listen to these special rules from God. So we're finishing up with summer now. I'm not sure what day you start school, but I guess most everybody is going back and you're going to be in the classroom with your teachers and your classmates. And that's coming up soon. Today's the 20th, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's coming up soon. So this Sunday in church, if you bring your backpack, Miss Sherry is going to preach, and she's going to do a special blessing of the backpacks and the school year. So that'll be really special for you to come to church and bring your backpack. And you don't have to go up front if you don't want to. You can stand with your parents, and Miss Sherry's going to do the blessing over all the backpacks and all the kids, no matter where you're standing or sitting. So I guess I'm running long again. Look at that, 12 minutes. Okay, so we're going to do our prayer, and then I hear doors opening. Hi. Okay, just some people going down the hall. Okay, so I just want to wish you well. If you start school before I get to see you again next week, I hope everything goes well. You get used to your new teacher and your new class, because everybody's moved up a grade now. So that's going to be very special, and I hope it all goes well. So let's fold our hands and say our prayer. Dear God, thank you for giving us rules to live by. These are special rules that came from you, so we know that we need to listen to them, we need to obey them, we need to listen to how you want us to live, God, because you do love us and care about us so much. And that's why you always help us, always supply for us, and give us our rules to listen to, and always care for us and always love us. I can't say that enough. Dear God, thank you very much. Amen. Okay, so I will have another story ready for you next week. If you start school, good luck with your new teacher and your new class. If you haven't started yet by next week, well, I'll know by then, because I'm going to ask somebody when school starts. But anyway, I thank you for coming and joining in Sunday school here. I know we aren't in person here in Sunday school yet. Maybe someday, hopefully soon. But for right now, we're going to do it on here. And I like seeing you every week, kind of. I hope you enjoy the stories, and I thank you for joining and coming to listen. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.